Hello and welcome. Welcome to this webinar from Entelechy, focusing on the empowering of managers as the lead force in delivering growth for businesses. And today, I'm going to focus in on why managers are so important to the growth of companies and how you can enable them with the right workforce analytics in order to drive performance and drive that performance through successful coaching. So there's the tempter for you. So let's start by setting the scene for the challenge that you might face. And do feel free to drop comments into the chat. My colleagues are waiting to talk with you about this very topic. So challenge one is that you've got these talented and highly skilled employees. They're probably incredibly powerful technicians. So you run a finance company and your accountants are highly skilled. You run a law firm, your lawyers are amazing. Your scientists are stunningly skilled at their job. You need to reward them, and one of the common ways that we reward people in business is through the use of promotion. We promote them to leadership positions, and we presume that because they're good at their job, they can help other people be good at their job too. Truth of the matter tends to be that managing or leading is a completely different skill set, that they become what we coin accidental managers or accidental leaders. In other words, it was never their plan. They've just been promoted up to their point of incompetence. You've heard that phrase before. And what that has is a double impact. One, you now have somebody in place who might not be particularly strong leader, who is creating a very difficult culture for you, but you've also took that very skilled, highly talented person away from their core responsibilities. The overall outcome of that is a net loss in productivity. So that's challenge one, and that's quite a significant one that quite a lot of companies share. It's not new. The next one, again, is not new. It's a challenge that we all face, which is you've got a beloved manager. Everyone loves this person. Everyone wants to be their friend. They're the most popular person, most charismatic person potentially in the company. But this person has gained that reputation from pleasing people. They are not massively keen on giving feedback that might upset others and so dent that reputation. So although they might inspire people and they might get loyalty, amazing qualities, what they are unable to do is manage the underperformance. It's a notable weakness. An underperformance and underproductivity means lack of profitability. So therefore, again, the net loss is this idea of not as much productivity as you deserve as an organization for the idea that you're putting out there, that you're putting forward. I love taking a problem and then heightening it. That's my joy. You'd love to get to know me because I take a small problem and then I catastrophize it. But let's take this problem of accidental managers or managers that don't like feedback and then add a touch of spice. So what you have now is a modern workforce that either wants to be hybrid or remote. Very few want to go into the office. What that means is that the culture of your business is almost entirely on the back of your managers now. So no matter what you do in HR or L&D or from a executive suite level, everything is filtered through the lens and the prism of your manager, because they're the ones that your employees see day in, day out, usually through a Zoom conversation like this. And that makes it really challenging if you have accidental leaders or you have leaders who cannot give valuable feedback that's needed. And that company culture can really quite struggle. So it can struggle through an apathy and a lack of sense of direction, but it can also become quite a toxic culture, as however the manager chooses to speak to their people is how they view your company. All in all, It's a problem that most organizations need to solve, and it's a sticky problem, and we usually do it through leadership and management training. We usually hope that we can bestow the skills upon them. What we're suggesting to you is that you don't need to bestow a whole load of skills on them. Instead, what's far more useful is to bestow the right characteristics, the right qualities of a leader. Character and strategy, when brought together, can really drive your growth. So, how do you bring character to those people? And second, how do you help those managers deliver that same character to their people? Because ultimately, the growth of your company is going to be most successful if everybody comes to work with the mindset of a leader, whether they are a leader or not. So I've set up the problem. Here's a solution I'm going to propose to you, and it's going to appear incredibly simple, and that's its joy. Most good ideas, most powerful ideas are also simple ones that we have realized before but not really tried, because we like to think that there is a whole complex strategy that we need to put in place. But there are two solutions that I'm going to offer you and introduce you to today. And over the course of this series of webinars, dive in deep with you to help show you how you can empower your managers through this toolkit that what they're proposing. So solution number one is quite simply 54 words. 54 words that describe the value behaviors you want in the workplace, and I'll show you those in a moment, and I'll give you some sort of reflections to do that will help you see the power of those 54 words. What they are is a language that helps you structure non-judgmental coaching. So it helps you talk about the valued behaviors in a way that takes some of the emotion and that fraught nature out of those conversations between manager and direct report. The second solution we offer, or I'm going to show you, are the analytics based on that language, which reveals the human being inside and the potential that they offer. So this is going to be a completely new way of thinking about who you work with in your organization, because in the past, we've tended to work with people who've already got the skills, already got the capabilities, have the qualifications, and they come to us in what we believe to be ready-made. What I'm going to suggest to you is that you instead look to those with the potential to grow, with the qualities inside that can deliver for you, because all of those other skills you can teach, that they can learn, but that unlocking that human potential is probably going to give you greater growth. So let's move on to the 54 words. So let me talk you through these, because it's going to feel like a lot. I get that, but it's also exactly what you need in order to deliver on productivity within a company. So the first question that's going to prove that is, look at these words and think, how many of these wouldn't you want in your employees? How many of these are not that useful in the workplace in terms of behaviors that you'd love to see? Not many. I think you'd probably go through and go, yeah, I'd like that one. Oh, yeah, no, I definitely want that one. And that's what we've done. We've used all our experience. We've talked to hundreds and hundreds of HR professionals, hundreds and hundreds of L&D professionals. We've sent it out to 10,000 people surveys in order to clarify what are the values-driven behaviours that people need in the workplace. And these were the 54 we came up with. And we put them into categories. Those categories, as you can read across the top, are personal qualities, interpersonal performance, acumen, nurture, and impact. Now, we need all of these qualities all of the time, and we have them within us. It's just how conscious we are of them and how dialed up they are. However, at the start of our careers, we're more likely to need those personal qualities. So if you imagine a graduate coming into your organization right now, you would want them to show that adaptability, authenticity, courage, confidence, curiosity, etc., etc., etc. Most importantly, you want them to start developing their self-awareness within the workplace. They become more experienced, but you want them to be able to work in a team. So all of those interpersonal qualities become massively important. And some of those are really highly underrated. Being compassionate to your work colleagues is far, far more important than we ever give it credit for, because that's usually when we work well together. Offering kindnesses to people is how you build loyalty. So all of those interpersonal qualities come next. Then this person is working towards their promotion. So they want to up their levels of performance, and they want to up level their understanding of the business as a whole. So they up level their acumen, and then they become somebody who you are looking at for promotion. Now, when you get into leadership, what we perceive is that those nurture qualities and those impact qualities are the very definition of the character that you want in your leaders. So, by virtue of that, that nurture column and that impact column are the qualities that you would want in your managers, because they are the ones with direct impact on your people right now. So, here's reflective question number one for you. Thinking about the leaders in your business, how many of them show up with those qualities? Weighing it up. How happy are you that your current managers, the people that you've put in role of responsibility to be caretakers for your culture, how many of them show good trusting of are trusting of their colleagues? In other words, can show great delegation, are happy to give their colleagues the chance to thrive within their role? How many of them are vulnerable enough in order to admit when they don't know and need support? Or vulnerable enough to admit when they need time off on holiday or to set boundaries around their work? How many of those managers have the sense of purposefulness in order to drive the productivity of the team as the leader of that team? How many of them are strategic enough to understand how their team fits within the whole and can drive a journey of progress? So, keeping that in mind and your gut reaction to that question, what you've already started to do is realize that these words are also a great way of measuring the quality of the people that you have in front of you. And if we could measure these, then you could potentially have very strong benchmarking for your succession. You could have very strong indication of who deserves that promotion based on the human qualities they bring as well as the skill set they bring. But as well as these 54 words being an excellent way of gauging whether those people are fit to be in role or have the potential to grow within that role, what these 54 words do is also raise the potential for your managers having a language with which they can coach your people and talk to your people about the behaviours they need in the workplace. So again, let me take you through some questions, and I'm going to pause. It's very uncomfortable for me because I don't like silence, but I want to give you time to think. So here's a little mini coaching session for you on these 54 words to give you an experience, an emotional experience of that. So question number one, go through the columns and pick out 3 strengths for me, 3 things that you know you rock, that if people described you, they would describe you as those 3 things. 3 strengths. If you're brave, you can put them in the chat, but you don't have to because this is a very personal reflection. I suspect it's very hard to choose 3 because you are all brilliant people. I've seen the list of people attending this webinar, so I know that you're all brilliant people. And by choosing and evaluating which 3, you are already self-reflecting. You are already increasing your self-awareness. You are already going through a discover process. Second reflective question. And I'm going to make this a little easier. I want you to pick one of these qualities that you know if you really focused on it, you would be a better person tomorrow than you are today. So, for instance, I really struggle to stay calm sometimes, or I appear calm, but I'm the proverbial swan whose legs are kicking like mental. So I know if I focused on calm, that's probably my biggest opportunity to grow, and it would make my life better, and it would make me a better colleague as well. So which one would you select as your, your the growth opportunity that you know you have available to you from this list? A powerful reflection and what you've just discovered is your first point where you have opportunity to improve yourself, to develop yourself, to grow. And next question would be, what small thing could you do in order to grow that? So right now, I've got bare feet and I'm feeling the carpet beneath my toes. That's helping me stay calm. That's a small thing, but it's helping me stay present in this situation. What small thing could you do? Last reflective question before I show you some of the analytics and how the analytics can really unlock this process. Last question being, you're likely to be a manager of people yourself. You likely know exactly what it takes in order to be successful. So, which single quality do you bring to management that you would want other people in your company to have? So just choose one, and I really would love you to share this one if you have opportunity to say the one quality that you know managers need in order to excel. Now, what I'm hoping you're starting to see a picture of is that using coaching questions, using really simple questions, I am encouraging you to look for a words in this list of all of these really important work ready, value based behaviors that you are starting to reflect and understand the power of 54 words for driving performance. But more than that, 54 words for enabling a conversation about what good performance looks like in the workplace and what specifically it means in your workplace. Now, what would be amazing is if we had 100% insight into how we show up with these things. The problem is, as human beings, we are imperfect and we don't always see things about ourselves that we need to see, but we need to be aware of. We have blind spots, those things where we think we're really brilliant and everyone else is going, oh, oh no, you're not. And then there are those areas where we don't think we're very good, those hidden strengths, and other people are going, what? She or he doesn't believe that they're wise or excellent or visionary. Surely they must know that they are. It's when you get into those hidden strengths and blind spots that there is room for learning, and there's room for a person to be able to find themselves in our data. So let me show you this. This is our 180 self-reflection wheel. It's got 54 spokes. The 54 character qualities are mapped on it based on my self-reflection. And as you can see with his marks, he's got a strength and compassionate, but people think he needs to grow that. And then there's a little hint and tip. So let me stop sharing this screen and let me take you to our dashboard. And what our dashboard will show you is that I can interact with this data and I can really delve deep into it. So what I have here are bar charts that show that same information, but in a much simpler form. So as you can see, this is me. So you're getting a very, very detailed insight of me. But what this does is it allows me to tell you about myself in a really non-threatening way. So let me show that to you, because then that's in the power. So if you were my manager, I could go to you, look, I am, and I appear very adaptable and expressive and curious, and I hope you can see those strengths in me. You need to know that sometimes my energy dips and my confidence is low, and so I might need more support than it appears. Equally, I really do empathize with people. I really feel the energy in the room, and I really do, and it really affects me. However, I am a disruptor, so I will go in and break up that energy, and I will disrupt on the, and so and I know that that's a growth in me. I know my need to bring more harmony to situation is a growth in me. Can you support me in that? And there's a question there to help me, and I can go through each one. And if you look at the ones that are my growth opportunities down at the bottom and then my strengths up at the top, you will see a pattern of someone that wants who is highly committed and wants to be high performing, but doesn't necessarily look after themselves very well. And therein lies the opportunity for the manager. The opportunity for the manager is in this story that I've told about myself, that they now have analytics with which to have a conversation with me that could really up level my performance. And thankfully, my line manager has really done a lot for me in order to support me.
Rach, can you reshare your screen, please? Sorry, we can't
Oh,
see
is
it.
it not sharing?
No, it just
Ah,
went off a couple of minutes ago. Thanks.
try again. Is it there now? There it is. So hopefully you can see that. Let me view it in so I can see what you can see. There we go. I can see what you can see now. So as you can see on these bar charts, I can tell a story about myself. And what I can do equally is if I go to my power map down here, is I can really dig deep into this. Oh, it's decided to reset itself. That's handy. But you'll see how we have SSO login, which is useful. Now, this power map is brilliant because what it does is it allows me to interact with it and to tap around the different parts of my screen. And because I'm trying to do a lot on my computer, it's going, no, stop. So what this is, let me stop showing that and let me go back to this. And what I will see here is this. And I can tap around and I can learn about myself. But remember what I said about blind spots and hidden strengths? Well, this is the data that we can show here. Now, what this is the ability for me to see on the thick line where I saw myself. So if that thick dark line is close to the edge of the circle, I saw it as a strength. If that thin line is close to the edge, then my 360 people see it as a strength. Anything close to the middle is a growth opportunity. So here, I thoroughly believe that, or Mark does, that being organized is a growth opportunity, and so do the people. So the gap is there. They don't feel it's as big a growth opportunity as he does, but still, he's probably being too hard on himself. So if I go back to the live screen, because it's come up now, and show you who I am, just for the kicks, you can see now how it's interactive. You can see how I can dot around and learn through over here. But equally, I can sort by, I can show you my 360. And again, this is a learning opportunity for me as an individual, and it would be a learning opportunity for your managers as well. But what this is also an incredibly powerful experience for your managers to have conversations with your with their direct reports. So, for instance, here, resilience is a growth opportunity for me. Can you see how the fat line is very close to the middle of the circle? My people don't see that as much as I see it. Everyone knows I have to grow my resilience, but there is a sense in this data here that that isn't as bad as I see it to be. Now, what that might mean is people are being fooled by my mask. And what this allows me to do is talk to my manager about the fact that I need potentially some support there, or I need to recognise potentially equally that I'm not as struggling with my resilience as it appears. Equally, I'm more collaborative than I perceive, but this time there is a flip. This time I'm my manager now has the opportunity to tell me something positive about me that I didn't know before. I have a hidden strength. And my manager has the opportunity to coach me and big me up and tell me, look, you think it's a growth opportunity. 15 people fed back that this is your strength, that you are actually far more collaborative than you know. So it's time to reflect. What do you do that they see that you could own more, that you could bring to that conversation and really live that collaborative quality more confidently and get even better at it? So that's a real nugget of a coaching moment that a manager could talk to me about because of this data that we have collected, that is based in verified data, based in 15 people agreeing that it's a strength. And therefore, we can have this conversation that says it's not instinct anymore. I always knew you were more collaborative than you thought. It's now time to really deliver on that and be confident in the delivery on that. Now, there are some where the opposite is true. So I think I'm strategic. I think it's a real strength of mine. My people do too, but not quite so much. So while I can live it, maybe what I need to do, and with a live it tag, what we suggest in our methodology is that I become much more of a role model for that quality. I lead on that quality with others, and I offer to support others in becoming more of that. And in so doing, I will strengthen their perception of me as being strategic. So all in all, this data that I have available to me, and under the kaleidoscope, my manager would have as opportunity to look and explore my character too, we can have a conversation that supports a development of me, a growth of me that delivers on the productivity. But more important, if we go back to those 2 points that we spoke about earlier, that one, it gives them a language with which people can actually talk about behaviors in a non-judgmental way. It can help people deliver praise that's based in data. It can help people offer feedback and growth and guidance on how to develop things, again, in qualities that are a growth opportunity that's based in data that both can see. And this is what empowers the manager to become the coach. Now, over the next few weeks, what we're hoping to do is to share with you in detail how this can go even further with this data. So right now, what I'm suggesting to you is that those words can give you the opportunity to have a powerful and informed conversation. So you as a manager can sit down with your people and talk about their performance and the behaviors you would like to see. And in so doing, you can up level and increase productivity and increase engagement, which in turn turns to greater profitability. All of those things I think are possible because you're opening up this dialogue. However, this is what I perceive to be the start of the story in terms of what this data could offer you as a HR professional. So imagine if that was aggregated across a whole team. Imagine if it was aggregated across a whole company. Imagine if you could pick the 10 behaviors that you would love to see your people benchmarked against, to see who are the strongest in those qualities that you know bring your organization success. It's those moments that I think are going to be really juicy for you, but I hope this introduction has helped. Now, there are two QR codes on the screen, because what I would like to offer you for the out of gratitude for showing up and listening to me talk about and introducing the beginnings of our data is I would love you to try the assessment for free. Now, the assessment takes about 15 minutes. It requires you very simply to click one of 5 radials between a strength and a growth opportunity, and everything else, all the other magic happens behind the scenes as we sort your demo. As we sort your dashboard. If you would like to see the full product in its full depth and watch me as I geek out about how exciting it is, that we can show you the hidden strengths and the blind spots in your people, that we can help your employees talk to their managers about the character that they bring to the workplace and have an open conversation about the support they need, the behaviors, the strengths they have, then feel free to book a demo equally. What I want to end on is what is coming up in the future, which is 1, how can you use that character key in order to deliver on those coaching conversations? So that power map that I showed you has huge potential. But how can you unlock that in a conversation between a manager and a direct report? So that's one thing I would love to talk to you about. What I would also love to explore with you in detail in the future is our action planning, because it's all right having this insight. The question is, what happens next? So we have professional development plans for each of your people, and those professional development plans can also be seen by the managers who can help keep people accountable through very productive one-to-one conversations. So I think it's really important in a future session, I show you that. But equally, as a team manager, how can you direct the culture of your whole team? So it's okay having one-to-one conversations with people, but here's another possibility. What if, as a manager, you're invited to decide what behaviors are going to be signature for your team? That if all of your people were all of these things, then you would be the best of that team in the whole organization. And encourage the manager then to think about what interventions the team need in order to evolve those. What learning, what development could they then structure and provide in order to ensure that happens? So in other words, putting that manager very much in the hot seat of being at the core of creating their culture within their small part of the organization and their strategy for evolving that through learning and development and coaching.